What's up, YouTube? This is your girl, Megan, the Maverick. Welcome back to my channel, cousins. However, if this is your first time joining me on today, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Join the family, all right? You know you want to. It costs you absolutely nothing. And thumbs up the video if you like it and share with a friend. Also, be sure to click that notification bell. That way you will be alerted every time I come on here and make a post. And I will be posting a lot more frequently, okay? So with that being said, I really don't understand why black people are so classist, okay? Now, mind you, a lot of the things that I say in regards to the black community, quote unquote, are out of love because, as you can tell, I'm black as hell, all right? And these are things that I have just observed over the years. And there is a very strong fascination between black people and people with money, which is directly, or indirectly, why we support and we live vicariously through celebrities and why black celebrities and entertainers are so important when it comes to our culture in terms of influencing people, especially when we start talking about things like politics and, niggas start hopping in the mix with opinions and trying to sway people and so on and so forth. It's so convincing because we place all of our trust and hope and faith and so much importance on these people. But when you really unpack that, it boils down to the fact that these are people within our community who have money. Okay? Now, I would be remiss to not point out the obvious, right? Given that black people as a collective have come from, really huge socioeconomic disadvantage, everything from slavery to Jim Crow to redlining to so on and so forth, right? And just from a historical perspective, I understand that there is kind of like the need to, I don't know if it's overcompensate or, kind of like how rap originated, right? Where black people as a whole were so used to having less than that, whenever we create these art forms, we place a lot of value on our ability to obtain these things despite our evolution, specifically, American descendants of slavery. But in today's times, I definitely see that thought process expanding. And you also have to take into account the influence of capitalism, because we do live in a capitalistic society that says your worth and your value is intrinsically tied to your ability to produce, create, and to have and achieve at that. And that's how you get the productivity culture. That's how you get the I'm hustling. We got the same 24 hours in each day. If you're not hustling, you ain't doing nothing. And when you pick apart all of these, ideologies, and once again, a lot of these ideologies, a lot of black people subscribe to. All you have to do is turn on your favorite rapper, and you will literally hear for 3 minutes or 2 minutes or however long these songs be these days. These people will literally tell you how much money they have, how broke you are. A broke bitch can't tell me shit. Broke niggas can't do nothing for me. I gotta bust down. I gotta protect your neck, my neck, whatever it is that's in style, right? They create entire images and personas and careers based on what they have and essentially shitting on other people who do not have those same things. But then the irony is that these people also like to talk about how they came from nothing. But that's also very capitalistic. And when you actually dissect that thought process of I had to get it out the mud and everybody has to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, it actually sounds very conservative, very Republican-esque, which is why it's always so fascinating when black celebrities get involved in like politics, so to speak, which we know the majority of them have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Just like the majority of black people have no idea what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to politics. And they say things and position themselves as like pro-blue, pro-Democrat, rah, rah, rah. And I'm pro-Democrat because Republicans don't care about people. And, they don't care about poor people. But I'm like, you do? That's kind of weird. So either you don't know what you're talking about, or a lot of y'all are lying, but then the public actually gets angry when a lot of these celebrities just come outright and align with Republicans, which is actually, if you want to, be logical, it's a lot more consistent with the way that you represent yourselves. And it's actually a lot more consistent with the way, once again, Black people carry ourselves and the type of thinking and ideology that we subscribe to within our own community. Okay? Now, some counter arguments that I have heard in terms of, supporting or defending this productivity culture or this mode of classism that a lot of people in the Black community tend to subscribe to is, well, I'm all about manifestation. There are people who feel like, well, we don't have to victimize ourselves. And honestly, to be truthful, I feel like that is a very intellectually dishonest argument to say that, well, if I accept the fact, or if I, take a stance that most people will never be able to be millionaires or trillionaires in this lifetime. Most people will never have bust down rollies and Pateks and drive Benz, a Benz and a E-class, B-class, your class and my class, whatever, right? To say that most people won't be able to do those things is not necessarily to embrace a mentality of victimhood, but also it's intellectually dishonest, and it's kind of weird because it also kind of suggests this thinking that somehow believing that you're able to obtain those things mean that you will. And I'm talking from a game of sheer statistics and sheer just fact-based data, right? And even just economics. Obviously, there are people, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you, are going into a highly coveted field, if you're going into tech and things like that, where it's like, okay, just being logical about it, obviously you will probably get a really decent paying job, because at this point in the economy, those are jobs that pay the most. But even then, like, 100,000-aire versus a millionaire, we're still talking about two different tax brackets, two different modes of living, and the statistics and probability of your average American actually being a millionaire is very slim to none. However, it is one of the dreams and one of the fallacies that a lot of people like to sell you on. Once again, especially within, the Black affluent community. If I could do it, you could do it. Instead of hating on me, you got 24 hours in each day. Just be a boss. Just boss up. Everybody doesn't have to be a victim. Everybody step into your role as the curator of your own reality, and we can all eat. But the truth of the matter is, if everybody woke up tomorrow and decided to be a boss, there would still have to be workers. So with that being said, why not craft and create a culture that uplifts and supports the workers? I know why, because that's counterintuitive to capitalism. And it's actually counterintuitive to a lot of Black culture, because we've embraced the exact opposite, which is another reason why so many of us are able to align ourselves with neoliberal Democrats as well, because and that's a completely different video for a different day, but they believe a lot of the same things when it comes to economics and finance as Republicans do. Okay? And as the average person, as the common everyday individual, we put these people on pedestals because somehow we figured that in worshiping them, somehow, some way, someday, we will get a slice of the pie. And I am not saying that everyone or all Black people are doomed to forever live in poverty, and we should just accept the gruesome reality that we are just trapped in this mode of victimhood and victimization and lack. But it is, from a realistic standpoint, saying that, most of us won't even be thousandaires, 100,000-aires in our lifetime. So why do the people who hold the least amount of, or who represent the least amount of our population, right? Why do they hold so much fucking power and influence? And it's so crazy because I remember one comment that, as you can see, like so here, I had to take a picture of it. I had to screenshot it because it was just so crazy. And I believe it was under the post of Lil Baby. He had a birthday, okay? And he was able to bring in a jeweler to the birthday party. And it was like this complete array of jewelry. And it was just, just a lavish, lush, high-class event. And somebody was like, God, when is it going to be my turn to live this life? And I know that it was probably said in a comical way or meant to be facetious or said in jest, kind of a tongue-in-cheek remark. But it actually reveals a lot about the desires and the hopes for a lot of people and the subconscious programming behind a lot of Black people. Because I see comments like that all the time, when a celebrity will be showing off this or showing off that. People will be like, oh, God, I see what you've done for others. And these are things that we laugh about, but it's actually very telling. And I also fault, and maybe fault isn't the right word, but I also have to look at a lot of these celebrities and these Black entertainers sideways, because given that we are living in a very particular and unprecedented climate right now, okay, given COVID, we are in an economic depression, y'all. Let's be very clear. We're talking about 20 to 30 million individuals, give or take, right, who are unemployed. We're talking about millions of people who have not been able to pay their rent since March, okay, the beginning of the pandemic. We're talking people who, once a lot of these regulations and restrictions are lifted, will be facing eviction. And we're talking about the largest predicted eviction crisis in the fucking country. And those are not my words. We're talking about from economists, okay? We're talking people who've only received one $1,200 stimulus check in the past 9 months or so. And so a lot of these Black entertainers and their inability to read the fucking room is remarkable. It's remarkable. And nobody is saying that there should not be such a thing as being rewarded for your hard work. But I do have a big problem with correlating richness or wealth directly with hard work. Because let's be honest, y'all. If that was the case, most people would actually be rich. Because some of the hardest working people I know are poor as hell. Okay? And although it's not my place or anyone's place to tell celebrities and people what to do with their money, you have money, you were blessed enough to be in the rich people club, do what you will. But the public flaunting and the public display of, a lot of your rich people behavior and luxuries that obviously other people can't afford, specifically during a time like this, says a lot about the celebrity in question, their character, how much they know. And I know another rebuttal that I tend to hear to this is, well, you don't know what these people have done. And, such and such has a charity and he raised this. And first of all, these celebrities are real good and real crafty when it comes to raising GoFundMes. So in other words, let me use my name and my star power and set up a public donation form to let a bunch of other broke motherfuckers give another broke motherfucker money. Okay, instead of me. So let's talk about that. But then also, a lot of these things, these charity, these organizations and little things like that, these celebrities write off on their taxes as well. So I just want to be very, very, very clear. Okay? Not enough is being done to help the people who make up the majority of Americans in general, but also of Black people. But the fact that we continue to live vicariously through people who do not give 2, 3, 4, or 5 shits about you says a lot about the state of our self-esteem. And I wish it would stop. I wish we would stop coveting and placing so much value on these celebrities and their worth and their dollar and what they're able to do, and quit making them more money. Now, in a way, I could be kind of a hypocrite myself because, just like anyone else, I like celebrity news and gossip and so on and so forth. But, there is a very fine line in terms of just being a casual consumer of this type of thing versus being kind of fanatic based about it. And I see a lot of fanatics, and I see a lot of the internalization of classism and living in a capitalistic society, even in the way that a lot of us average everyday human beings treat one another. Around the time that the stimulus checks got passed, I saw a lot of people talking about on social media, retweet and share if you didn't have to wait for a $1,200 check. Y'all so broke, you count on this $1,200 check. So what the fuck if I am, bitch? Now what? Okay, so let's say I am waiting on a $1,200 check. Where does the conversation go from here? You see what I'm saying? It's still based on a premise that you're still less than. And they equate brokenness or poverty or struggle or anything like that to a person's moral character. And I don't like it. It's kind of the trickle-down effect. And these be regular people. So I'm going to go ahead and end my rant there. I would love to hear you guys' perspectives and opinions in the comment section. All right? And yeah, y'all take care. And until the next video, I holla.